Hello, everybody, and welcome to Secular Ultra Quran, your one-stop shop for everything secular, ultra, and Quran. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are covering Surah 4, verses 69 through 99. There we go.
Yeah.
Easy. Also, new little update on YouTube. We have goals now.
Whoa.
Now, morally, of course, we've always had goals. We are very career-driven professionals. But on YouTube, they just added goals. So
We've just discovered that it's possible to have goals in life.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's
I've had no course until this point. How dare you?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Of course.
That now goals are an objective measure, and they are measured by the YouTube gods.
Right, yeah. And I do have to apologize to Chris because I did just give him a goal, and he's not supposed to have those.
It hurts to even consider.
Right, yeah, of course. My apologies. So what's the goal for today? Actually, let's click. I don't know if the goal even pops up like in the chat for you guys, but it pops up for us.
It says this.
Yeah, so let's see. You got an hour. In 1 hour, if we get one super chat, we will say behold. So, if don't even
I didn't mean to. I almost sent our.
That would have been really funny. Chris almost sent a super chat to us.
I knew I could stop, but I was like, what does this do? Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that we would have just lost the money on that one.
I guess you're right. Here, give YouTube some sense.
Yes. We also had a dead mouse on set.
That's
Oh,
right.
that was
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
But it was
Very
right by this
spooky.
old amulet that you guys did the ritual by.
Yeah.
Or used for the tree bending.
It was a demon
summoning.
sacrifice. Ooh,
It was a demon
spooky.
summoning.
Now we can bend trees.
You know, ever since we found that mouse, we have not tried to bend a tree.
Yeah, I've not tried it since.
Yeah, so we should check later.
Give that a go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Maybe it took 5 or 6 years. That's been
Yeah.
like 5 years, maybe.
There was no promise that it would be any specific amount of time.
That's something that people in the comments were saying.
Mhm.
They were like, "Well, it never said you were gonna get those powers right away."
Oh, man.
Actually, you got them in the past,
Are people
No,
still,
right yet in the
but
past.
they're gone
do
now.
people still comment on that?
Not really.
Yeah.
But
When's the last time someone watched that video?
watched it. I don't know. I could check.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
They
We'll do that after the show.
Yeah,
if
we'll
you
do that
want.
later.
okay.
Yeah. But yes, you can check like when it's actually getting views.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's been a while.
Oh, there's
Probably.
been more than
Yeah.
5 dead mice down here at some point.
Sure, yeah. But either way, today we are talking about the Quran. And yes, you're absolutely right. Thank you for reminding me.
We're doing that
We have
twice.
the wheel. So we are actually spinning it twice because, as Chris mentioned last week,
Holiday.
he loves the holidays.
Holiday.
Yeah.
It is holiday.
He loves the holiday. The one holiday that there is.
There it is. But we're going to get a wheel spinning.
Really?
Yeah.
Chris loves the holiday.
Yeah, he does.
Really, because his original YouTube channel, Quantum Nihilism,
Uh-huh.
has a video.
We don't
on
talk
there
about that. Come on.
How he hates the holidays.
No,
can't
he hates the
Holidays.
holidays. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's different.
it is different. So
Distinctly, they're holly. I
That
guess
was a
I hate it.
video
I don't know.
where Chris, as a teenager, complained about people giving each other presents.
I was complaining more about the tendency of it's almost like super chat, where you give a gift, but it actually takes because YouTube gets its part.
Yeah, well,
Heck, even
it's all
Steam.
capitalist. Is
It's the
issue.
capitalist
Yeah,
argument. I don't mind giving gifts, but oh geez, we have that little blackout issue.
yeah, I saw
again.
that little blip.
All right,
yeah.
let us spin the wheel before that happens
Yeah,
again.
so our patrons can win a T-shirt. So let's spinny
Spinny wheelie.
wheelie.
Yeah,
I can't now. Okay.
What are you doing?
There we go.
Spinny wheelie.
Okay, yeah, spinny wheelie.
It's spinning.
So
It's really spinning.
whoever
Boy,
gets
it's
it,
fun a lot.
if you're a patron of $10 or more, you get a chance to win a T-shirt. every week.
Paris.
Paris.
Paris, and now we have to spinny wheelie again.
Yeah, so we have another spinny wheelie.
Are you ready?
One of them goes to Paris. Let's see who gets the next one. We are ready. Yes.
Spinny wheelie.
Spinny wheelie. Fine, you want a second fucking spinny wheelie? Sure. So one goes to Paris.
No.
No?
This time it's Margaret.
Margaret.
Correct.
Margaret gets a T-shirt.
Yes, and happy holiday.
Happy
Singular.
holiday. What holiday are we celebrating?
I don't
We're
We're
could always
atheists,
go
guys.
with
We don't
Christmas,
really-
Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Oh, yeah.
Festivus.
Sure,
right?
Festivus works. Yeah.
Always
Saturnalia.
live chat
Saturnalia.
because we're on top
I
chat.
love top
right
chat.
Yeah.
Now, which
Really changed everything.
changed everything. Oh man,
It's
we
fine.
can see-
I think we'll be okay.
No, it got rid of all our concurrent viewers.
No, I don't think those are related.
Yeah, they all disappeared all at once.
All right, so Margaret and Paris will be getting shirts.
That they will.
Yeah.
So, I have the Study Quran, the Quran from the Quran Project, and the Penguin Classics Quran.
I have some Qurans with me as well. We have Qurans from, what's his name? Abdullah Yusuf Ali, Maulana Muhammad Ali. We have a thematic commentary on the Quran from Sheikh Muhammad Al-Ghazali. And
Oh, they all have Lee. I like that.
yeah, I guess, yeah, that's true. And Gabriel Said Reynolds, the Quran and the Bible.
Wonderful.
Yep.
So, without further ado, why don't I hop into verse 69?
Nice. Very nice.
Whosoever obeys God and the messenger, they are with those whom God has blessed. The prophets, the truthful ones, the witnesses, and the righteous. What beautiful companions they are.
You know, I know that the Bible does this a lot, where like every other thing is like a song of praise, and the Quran does that too, but with just random verses.
Yeah, it just throws it in there.
Yeah, like or at the end of a verse.
See, I'm imagining that Muhammad's like a preacher.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
And these are like the equivalent of like, can I get an amen?
Yeah, can I get an amen?
No.
That's funny. Although the translation here is a little bit different. So yeah, as God has blessed, whom God has blessed, including the prophets and the truthful, the martyrs and the righteous. Yeah, so not just
Instead
the
of the witnesses.
Yeah, witnesses or faithful is another translation.
It could be rendered as martyrs and is sometimes glossed as meaning those who die in the way of God. However, limiting witnesses to those killed for the sake of religion does not seem consistent with the wider Quranic usage, as the term is also mentioned in the context of bearing witness to divine covenants, as well as testifying to the truth in a legal, religious, or spiritual matter.
Oh, it looks like the word does include martyrs. So it would be not just martyrs. It would be the original word shahid means one who bears witness to the truth of the religion of Allah.
Yeah, Al-Razi argues this.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Okay. Such is the bounty from God, and God suffices as a knower. O you who believe, take your precautions, then go forth in companies, or go forth all together. Among you indeed is one who would tarry. Then, if misfortune should befall you, he would say, God has blessed me, and that I did not accompany them. But should a bounty come to you from God, he would surely say, as if there had been no affection between you and him, Oh, would that I had been with them, so that I had attained a greater triumph.
So he wouldn't would I don't think he would cry. He would just Okay, I'm not sure I fully understand what he's saying.
It's like some people aren't going to follow you.
Right,
But
yeah.
those people, they're the ones who are like, if you go off and do something and it fucks you up, they're going to be like, oh, it's great, I didn't go with them. But if you get something out of it, they're going to pretend like they had no opportunity to do so whatsoever.
Oh yeah, so but should a bounty from God come to you, he will say, as if there were no tie of friendship and affection between you and him, I wish I were with them so that I had achieved the great success. Okay, I get like jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Al-Razi argues that the verse suggests that hypocrites.
Oh, sure. Okay, no, I get what they're saying. Okay, so that they, that if you achieve success with God when they don't have God, then they just kind of want the stuff. They want the great success and not they don't want the Lord. They want the great success.
Yes. Also, a lot of golden calves in the chat.
Yeah,
Nice, guys.
yeah. Ryan and April both with the golden calves. Soon, very soon, hopefully they're gonna have golden cows, and then the super ascended one that we have, which I'm sure, because Chris is such a good clicker of the mouse, that he will present all those possibilities. So if you get a badge, you get one of these. Also, Ryan, doing that again, member for 24 months. That is 2 whole years.
Yes.
So thank you very much. Appreciated, Ryan. One of these days, you're going to get, you and April very soon are going to get to that final stage, that ascended calf.
Yes, the ascended calf, the Enoch calf.
Or
Metatron.
just Baal.
Yeah, it is a Baal-like being.
Yeah, I guess that would be really the best way to put it, right?
Yeah. Anyways,
No.
Let's continue on. Let them fight in the way of God, those who would sell the life of this world for the hereafter. And whosoever fights in the way of God,
Oh my
whether
God,
he is slain
Reuben.
or victorious, we shall grant him a great reward.
Oh my
Reuben.
gosh, we got a super chat.
We got a whole super chat.
Behold!
$2 Canadian.
Two not real currencies.
That's
From
$1.57 to us Americans, apparently, according to YouTube.
Yeah. From April. Thank you very much. Behold.
Behold!
Yeah, I said it already.
Oh,
You
okay,
want me to do it
thanks.
again? Behold!
Thank you. So that was amazing. That was an amazing goal. Thank you for helping us reach it, April.
Yes. Now we have to start setting it to 100 super chats.
Every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No, we already
Every
reached our
10
one
minutes.
goal. It's over.
Right, yeah,
We're
yeah,
done.
that's
We're done
it.
with the goal
Yeah,
for...
that's the whole goal.
Forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, people who die fighting in the way of God get given a great reward.
Yeah.
And that means fighting for his religion and his commands and calling others to it. According to the commentary. Which is wonderful.
Listen, the Abrahamic religions love a good martyr story.
Mm-hmm.
That's like their favorite thing, honestly.
It did become their favorite thing. It wasn't for a little while.
Yeah, I guess it was always kind of up there, but then it really became, yeah, you're right. Then eventually became their favorite thing.
Mm-hmm. Especially after like the Second Temple period.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. No.
Anyways, what ails you that you fight not in the way of God, and for the weak and oppressed, men, women, and children who cry out, "O Lord, bring us forth from this town whose people are oppressors, and appoint for us from thee a protector, and appoint for us from thee a helper." Those who believe fight in the way of God, and those who disbelieve fight in the way of false deities. Fight, therefore, against the allies of Satan. Surely the scheme of Satan is ever feeble.
So, yes, we had this before. This is also translated here as satanic entities or just the devil. And those who disbelieve fight in the way of the devil. And this one says, and those who are faithless fight in the way of satanic entities. So you have other gods.
Yeah.
And
False deities.
yeah.
False deities is widely glossed as Satan, given the following exhortation to fight the allies of Satan, i.e. his protectors or friends. If the disbelievers are the allies of Satan, then believers have God as their protector or ally. The feebleness of Satan's guile lies in the fact that his allies fight out of fear or jealousy of the believers, while the believers fight for God and with hope for paradise. And if they neglect to fight, they do so in fear of divine retribution. Moreover, the disbelievers fight in doubt and fear of death, as they have no hope of reward in the hereafter, and this makes them weak.
Yeah. This kind of rhetoric pops up a lot in the Quran.
Mm-hmm. It does. Hast thou not seen those unto whom it was said, restrain your hands and perform the prayer and give the alms? But when fighting was prescribed for them, behold!
Behold! You got a real behold. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that one was pretty real too. It was worth $2.
A party of them feared men, even as they should have feared God, or with a greater fear. And they said, Our Lord, why hast thou prescribed fighting for us? If only thou would grant us reprieve for a term nigh. Say, scant is the enjoyment of this world, and the hereafter is better for those who are reverent. And you shall not be wronged so much as the thread of a date stone. This has occurred before. This thread of a date stone.
Yeah, a single date thread. I forget where it popped up, but you are right, it did pop up.
Very small amounts that you would not reasonably measure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you will not be wronged a whit. Like, even like a tiny little bit.
Not at all. Wheresoever you may be, death will overtake you, though you should be in towers raised high. And if good befalls them, say, This is from God. But if evil befalls them, then say, This is from thee. Say, All is from God. If evil befalls them, they say, This is from thee. Say, All is from God. What is with these people that they scarcely understand any tiding?
Okay, well, at least we have kind of, we did have that one verse in Isaiah, I think, about God creating evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was in Isaiah. And this kind of, I know that in the Quran we've also had, passages about like even the evil stuff is like, it can be a blessing in disguise, or you don't fully understand like, God's plan and all that stuff, right?
Well, also, Islam is a more strictly monotheistic religion.
That is true.
And they claim to the unity of God, which would mean that there's no alternative creator entity.
Sure, yeah.
So the only origin for any evil would be God, right?
That is true, but at the same time, the idea here is and this is not just here, I guess, but in other places in the Quran, where it's like they try to explain it away as like, well, it's not actually evil because like you don't know the mind of God kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, here they're saying that this is a reference to Medina or certain Jews who claim that they have a blessing from God, but if evil befalls them, they blame it on the prophet. A drought occurred in Medina shortly after the prophet's arrival there, and some Medinan Jews reportedly blamed it on the prophet.
Oh my God. You know what this reminds me of? What? So this only reminds me because when it comes to, there was this drought, it immediately got me thinking of like, well, do we know that there was a drought because like that's what like some hadiths say, or do we know that there's a drought for some other reason? And then I was thinking about this conversation I had the other day where this Muslim guy was saying that the Quran knew about Pangea. He even said that the Bible knew about Pangea, and I'm like, that's not how creation happened in the Bible. I had to explain how it's like, yeah, the waters were all and one, and then the waters were split, and then they were created into, into the sky and the earth. Like, that's how creation worked in the Bible. And I was like, that sounds nothing like Pangea. And he's like, wait, really? That doesn't sound like anything like it to you? I'm like, no, not even a little. So I'm thinking, like, in what world does it sound like Pangea at all?
In
New Jersey.
world.
The New Jersey, that's funny.
Specifically that guy's world.
So like I'm now waiting for like a portion for the part of the Quran where we get to it, to anything that even remotely, this isn't it, but to the, to a part where we remotely get to something that sounds like Pangea, because I have not heard that yet. And if he's like, oh, it was actually the creation narrative in like second surah, I'd be like, what? No. Because like that is an insane, like to me, that is stretching it so far.
Yeah, that
like
seems
beyond
like
reason.
A bit much. I don't think I've seen anything like that in any of these texts.
No,
actually.
not even close. If they even got like a little close to describing evolution, that would be almost impressive. But like they can never even do that.
Let me continue on. Whatever good befalls thee, it is from God. And whatever evil befalls thee, it is from thyself.
Oh, never mind. It's just like, no, it's actually your fault.
No, actually. We sent thee as a messenger unto mankind, and God suffices as a witness. Okay.
I mean, yeah, there's one as many, right? One of many, right? So, so he would be like just another prophet, just like all the other ones.
Whosoever obeys the messenger obeys God, and as for those who turn away, we have not sent thee as their keeper. They profess obedience, but when they leave thee, a party of them conspire by night to do other than what thou sayest. But God records what they conspire by night. So turn away from them and trust in God. God suffices as a guardian.
Yeah, there are multiple times where God as a guardian or God as a protector pops up. Like not just in war, but now in more what's the word I'm looking for?
Against conspiracy.
Yeah, against conspiracies, sure.
Yeah. Do they not contemplate the Quran? This is a verse in the Quran.
So I think Quran means what? Recitation, right? So like this would have probably been all the stuff that he had already said, is my guess. Because otherwise it wouldn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, the Quran was not well, here's what it says. The Quran was not written out and given on one occasion, but it continued to be delivered in small portions during 23 years under the most varying circumstances. I mean, yeah, the idea is that the stuff that he would have spoken before is the stuff that they should have been meditating on, or they should have been understanding.
We're going to get into some of the most intense apologetics we've ever had in the commentary here.
Oh, really?
So,
okay, by the commentator?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
If the Quran were of human composition, they would have found much discrepancy. That is, inconsistency, shortcomings, self-contradictions, falsehoods. Although there are different recitations of the Quran, different numberings of the verses, even different legal rulings found in the abrogated and abrogating verses, all of these apparent differences are considered to be true in themselves.
Okay.
The fact that the Quran includes both the abrogated and abrogating verses indicates that the Prophet did not seek to conceal these differences or revise or refine the Quranic message to create a superficial consistency. This verse represents one of several challenges the Quran poses to its detractors in order to convince them of its divine origin. Elsewhere, the Quran.
Wait, could you repeat that sentence one more time? Wait, what?
Well,
what about the detractors?
I said the fact that the Quran includes both the abrogated and abrogating verses indicates that the prophet did not seek to conceal these differences.
Okay.
Or to revise or refine the Quranic message to create a superficial consistency.
Wait. Is this man's argument that
He doesn't have to be consistent. That's just superficial.
is he arguing for authenticity based on the fact that it's not consistent?
You know, I don't really know what he's trying to get at here.
Actually, this happens a lot too with
He seems to be implying that the Quran is inconsistent, which I agree.
Sure, yeah.
But he seems to be implying that inconsistency is not an important factor.
Here's the thing. Christians make this argument for the Gospels too, right? Because there are contradictions between the Gospels, but they're like, well, if they're three separate documents, of course they're going to be like some contradictions. That just makes it more reliable. Holy shit! That is that is 50. Is that also Canadian? Yeah. So that is 50 Canadian. Also 50 not real money.
Wow, that's like $36.
No, it's I think it's because the YouTube's taking a chunk out.
YouTube's taking a chunk out.
Yeah, so the conversion might be different, but they're also taking a chunk out. Also, yes, this show sucks. That is very accurate. Thank you very much for the 50. Very much appreciated.
I agree. This show sucks.
Yeah, it is.
Suck. That's the name of the show.
Yeah, it is. Yes. Yeah. So YouTube takes 30%. Ugh, gross. Yeah. But that's just how YouTube is. This fucking capitalist hellscape.
They really don't need that.
No, they really fucking don't. They get all their fucking money from advertisers. And their Google, yeah. Insane. Absolutely insane. So what was I saying? Yeah, so Christians do that kind of stuff with the Bible all the time. And they're like, well, see, it's more authentic because these contradictions are in here. And I'm like, but you're literally telling me now that one of these has to be at least one of these things has to be false.
No, they're all true in themselves.
Yeah.
I thought one of these things was not like the other. Maybe one of them did belong.
The ads are brutal. Are they? So they shouldn't be happening during the stream, like during the live stream.
That's dismissed, but
maybe they're making more subscriptions. Sure, okay, that makes sense. Well, the thing is, I have ads turned off during the stream, I think. I know that ads pop up later, like after it's already like a published video. But hopefully ads are not popping up on this stream.
Ryan's gotten 2.
Oh shit, here? God damn it. That's annoying. In the beginning and right before. Really? Okay. Damn.
Wow.
I'm going to have to look back at that because I should have them turned off. Okay.
Yeah, they should have been turned off.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe YouTube just doesn't care when we turn them off.
Fucking probably, yeah. Like, that's so annoying. Okay.
Like,
okay.
That allows you to turn off the ads that would make you money. You can't turn off the ads that make them money.
Yeah, of course. You're right. Yeah.
Okay. Do they not contemplate the Quran also? Yeah. Contradictory things are simultaneously true and of themselves.
Yeah, I understand. Yes.
Okay. So they contemplate the Quran. Had it been from other than God, they surely would have found much discrepancy therein. There is.
Had it been from someone other than God. Okay, sure. Okay. All right.
There's a whole abrogation system because of the discrepancy.
Right, but like a whole bunch of Muslims think that those are not even real.
And whenever tidings come unto them, whether of security or fear, they spread it about, whereas had they referred to it to
although that verse
to the messenger.
That verse is, however, admitting that there are discrepancies, but no one realizes them because they believe it's from God.
That explains everything.
Like he's saying that if it were written by someone other than God,
then surely they would have found all these.
Yeah, they would have scrutinized them more. So it's because they're not scrutinizing it that there are no discrepancies. Yeah.
Yep. Man, had they referred it to the messenger and to those in authority among them, those of them whose task it is to investigate would have known it. Were it not for God's bounty toward you and his mercy, you would have surely followed Satan, save a few. So, fight in the way of God. Thou art accountable only for thyself, and urge on the believers. It may be that God will restrain the might of the disbelievers. For God is stronger in might and more severe in punishment.
I mean, sure, I guess.
Some say this refers to the would-be battle known as Lesser Badr after the Muslims defeated Uhud, the Quraysh leader, Abu Sufyan, and the Prophet agreed to meet the following year at Badr for another military contest. When the time came, Abu Sufyan was reluctant to go and sent a spy to spread disinformation at Medina about the overwhelming Meccan forces that awaited them at Badr in order to dissuade them from going to battle. After the defeat at Uhud and the false rumors of a massive Meccan army spread, most Medinans were reluctant to join the Prophet for this battle. The Prophet reportedly declared, "By him in whose hand is my soul, I shall go forth, even if alone." The Prophet thus went forth with only 70 men to meet Abu Sufyan's army, but when they arrived at the agreed-upon place, no one was there, and the campaign was aborted. What if they just didn't go to the right place?
You know what? Good point.
Well, actually, what if they all chickened out and they just agreed to say that no one was there when they got there?
You know, that kind of there was I forget which surah it was already. May have been earlier this one, maybe the last one, about like the people who were fleeing. Mm-hmm. Like how like, you know, once they got back, they were like, "Hey, you guys who fled this battle, fuck you." Mm. Like there was a few verses about how much those guys sucked because they fled.
Yeah, there was a whole diatribe about them.
Yeah. So I think I don't know if you want me to take over.
Yeah, you should take over.
Okay.
From here.
And you know what's really crazy? So right now we have 10 viewers, but only 5 likes on the video. So that means that 5 people,
11 viewers.
That means you guys need to click the fucking like button, because if you don't, Ruben will go over to your house and punch you in the face.
I'm not gonna do that, but I might punch Lawrence in the face if you like it enough.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see,
that made the like go up.
Yeah, exactly. If you see, yeah, you know, fair enough. If that makes sense.
Everybody wants.
Now everyone wants to. Yeah, okay. Everyone wants to see me get punched. Okay, fair enough. You know, I'm fine with that.
I'm gonna punch him.
Nah.
Until our wrestling match.
Until the match. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Gonna continue on with the reading though. So with verse 85. Whoever intercedes for a good cause shall receive a share of it, and whoever intercedes for an evil cause shall receive a share, or shall share its burden.
Now, the commentary does specify that a good cause means helping Muslims, and an evil cause means helping someone who's going against Muslims.
Specifically. Yeah. I know that would be included from the stuff we read before.
Oh, no,
right?
No, that's specific.
Oh, well, that's That's shittier. I was like, okay, I can see it. If you participate in evil, that's a bad thing, and you kind of also have to deal with the repercussions. Or if you participate in good, that's a good thing, and he'll reward you for it. But no, it's actually worse than that.
No, it's only for Muslims.
According to that commentator.
According to this commentary.
The meaning is the meaning is that he who joins himself to another and assists him and becomes to him as one of a pair or an intercessor in doing good or evil, and this aids him and strengthens him, partakes with him the benefits of the harm of it. It is also held by some that shafa'at here implies that one institutes for another a way of good or evil. Okay, so the connection is clear. The prophet made himself an example of good for... Okay, fine, yeah, made himself an example. There's nothing in these commentaries that says that it's specifically about helping Muslims. Like, that would be included, sure. Yeah, it's just fighting for a good cause. Yeah, that's all of these commentaries say. So it's interesting that yours says specifically only helping Muslims.
Yeah, whosoever intercedes for a good cause by aiding individual Muslims, protecting their rights, defending them, or supplicating God on their behalf.
Okay, yeah, that's I hope that's not the proper interpretation, but it probably is.
I assume it is.
Yeah. It's knowing how religions are. And God has supreme authority over all things. Verse 86. When you are greeted with a salute, greet with a better one than it, or return it. Indeed, God takes account of all things. So you need to have a good salute, too.
Yeah, so...
What is the purpose of this good salute?
Well, it makes you feel better when you see somebody else who knows it and you go, wow, that guy, he's like part of my faction. That's cool.
That guy knows the salutation.
Yeah, it's the secret handshake club.
Oh, wait, a greeting is a prayer for the good of another.
Yeah, because...
Tahiyya is originally a prayer for one's long life.
Like, it's specific here.
Okay.
The proper Islamic greeting. Peace be upon you. As-salamu alaikum.
One
should respond with a greeting that is better, such as, and upon you be peace and the mercy of God and his blessing, or simply return it. That's respond in a similar manner by saying, and upon you be peace. Wa alaikum al-salam. Or simply, and upon you. Right.
Okay. Yeah. That makes more sense.
About.
That makes more sense. I was like, are we really like, doing this like army military thing? Like,
we are.
Like, I knew it wouldn't be that same thing, but like any kind of greeting. But it's a specific greeting that they have in mind.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. So verse 87, God, there is no God except him, will surely gather you on the day of resurrection, in which there is no doubt, and who is more truthful in speech than God. Why should you be two groups concerning the hypocrites, while God has made them relapse into unfaith because of their deeds? And, I'll get to that. Do you desire to guide someone God has led astray? Whomever God leads astray, you will never find any way for him. So this is specifically the thing that we get in Exodus, where God hardens the Pharaoh's heart. In the same way, God here is turning people away. If they become hypocrites, if they become, basically the people that are constantly condemned in the Quran, he is going to just turn you away from him, so you can't be saved.
I guess.
That is
sucks.
That's what it says. It is abundantly clear. Verse 88, there is... it says that clearly those waverers are implied here, who went back to disbelief after they accepted Islam. and thus again join the disbelievers. Well, the thing is, God
yeah,
specifically.
Read verse 89.
Verse 89. Okay. They are eager that you should disbelieve just as they have disbelieved because of God. Yeah. So that you all become alike. So do not make friends with anyone from among them until they migrate in the way of God. But you just...
Wait.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. But if they turn their backs, seize them and kill them wherever you find them. Oh, this reminds me of something. And do not take from among them friends or helpers. So, few things here. This is not a penalty for apostasy.
No.
What it is a penalty for double apostasy. Do you remember which text we read that said it was Eunostus the Blessed, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes. In Eunostus the Blessed, he gave you 2 chances. This is actually, I have to write this down. So he said that like it's fine to go astray once, but if you go astray a second time, that's a problem. That's the one that you can't come back from. So like you're allowed to fuck up once. So this reminds me of that. So not only do we have God controlling other people's minds in a way, or God controlling their hearts, if to keep it, I don't know, right, to keep it halal.
He
and
says
then
you shouldn't have friends who are disbelievers.
If they are of the people that stray. So if they were apostates, you shouldn't be friends with them.
Well, it's whoever he leads astray. Yes.
Right, which would be
so
specifically
any
from the
apostate,
stuff that we had
you're not
before.
supposed to associate with an apostate.
Yes, with an apostate, yeah.
You can't be friends with them. You can't take them as guardians, as protectors, and you're supposed to kill them.
Right.
If they ever turn their back, you seize them and slay them wherever they are. It's very straightforward.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. So that was 88 and 89.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now see there's a lot of stuff to talk about there because you have not only the issue of killing double apostates.
I feel like this is like what they talk about in Proverbs. When they talk about not hiding in dark alleys and killing
Oh, yeah,
people.
yeah. That's true.
Huh. Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like the opposite. It's encouraging.
It says instead do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait until they turn their backs and then stab them in the back until they die.
Right. Yeah. If they have become apostates twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it is interesting now that there is, so far when it comes to morality, I'm not actually super shocked that the one that is called The Women has some of the worst morals in it.
Oh, yeah. This is horrendous. I can't believe that people accept this.
I think it's good. Yeah. The thing is, I know
Karl
that
Popper's paradox of tolerance.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is, most
Seize
Muslims
them and slay them wherever you find. That's pretty straightforward.
It is. Yeah.
That's not an idea.
But the
that
thing
should
is,
be tolerated in civilized.
If
society.
I know that if I ask my Muslim friends, if I frame it in the context of what should we do with apostates, or what would you hurt someone who left the religion? They'd be like, and I asked them questions like this before.
Clearly, obviously, they would not.
Yeah, they would not. So the thing is, I always think that believers are better than their God is the thing. Or for the most part, if you're a fucking Joel Osteen or a fucking Kenneth Copeland or one of these big, massive fucking preachers that are just terrible behind the scenes, then you might be just as bad as your God.
Or apparently Muhammad.
Right. Yeah.
He's the one who's saying this stuff. Yeah. And we don't have any evidence that God exists, but we do at least have cursory evidence that maybe this Muhammad guy existed.
Sure, yeah.
Unless he's some kind of Homer figure.
I doubt it, honestly.
Yeah, probably not.
The evidence is pretty early, way earlier than like the stuff for Homer that we have, which is like nothing. We have stuff that's way later that just says Homer. It's Homeric. All right, continuing on. So verse 90. Oh, maybe there's some hope.
There's some people that you can't just kill.
Well, let's see what happens here. So yeah, after he says that, yeah, if they do the whole like double apostasy thing, which I'm pretty sure was Eugnostus the Blessed. So you have to kill them, find them wherever they are, and do not take from among them friends or helpers, accepting those who join a people between whom you between whom you I can't talk.
Why not, Lawrence? What's up with
I don't know why. Accepting those who join a people between whom and you there is a treaty. Or such as come to you with hearts reluctant to fight you, or to fight their own people. So this rule, I guess there would be an exception here, for other, right. So this is an exception for like other tribes, essentially, that work with you
as broad groups.
Yeah. Had God wished, he would have imposed them upon you, and then they would have surely fought you. Surely fought you. So if they keep out of your way and do not fight you and offer you peace, then God does not allow you any course of action against them. Okay. So that's fine. That part's fine.
But the previous part
right.
is insane.
Right, yes. That part's like, because in their theology, God could have set a people against you, chose not to, therefore you have no reason to, like, get into conflict with them. If they're working with you, fine. Like, they can have whatever beliefs they want. And this is also a thing that, this is, basically every Muslim I know acts like this. They're like, if you were never like a Muslim before, they're not going to bother you about it. They don't care. But I have heard some horror stories about people who were Muslim and then left.
Yes.
I've heard some horror stories. So verse 91, you will find others desiring to be secure from you and from their own people. Yet whenever they are called back to polytheism, they relapse into it. So if they do not keep out of your way, nor offer you peace, nor keep their hands off from fighting, then seize them and kill them wherever you confront them, and it is such against whom we have given you a clear sanction. So this is, again, the case of if they are stopping you from believing or stopping you from worshiping properly. In this case, this is more of like the whole, like, if they go against, this is if they go against your community.
It translates fitna, a term with a semantic range that includes civil strife or sedition, temptation or trial, and oppression. Some commentators interpret it to mean that, that's later on, I suppose. But
it says here that, never mind. Okay. I can continue then?
Yeah, that's later on. This part isn't.
Okay, it looks like there's this section here is called Murderer of a Muslim.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this is verse 92. A believer may not kill another believer unless it is by mistake. Anyone who kills a believer by mistake should set free a believing slave and pay blood money to his family unless they remit it in charity. If he belongs to a people who are hostile to you but is a believer, then a believing slave is to be set free. And if he belongs to a people with whom you have a treaty, the blood money is to be paid to his family, and a believing slave is to be set free. He who does not afford freeing a slave must fast for 2 successive months as a penance from God, and God is all-knowing, all-wise. So,
okay,
there are 2 things you could do. You could either, well, the thing is, I think in all of these, you still set the slave free, right?
Mm-hmm. It has to be a believing slave.
Yeah, a believing slave. So you have to set them free. If you kill a Muslim, and depending on the conditions of where you're living, you do or do not pay some blood money to the family.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't afford to give up one of your slaves, you can just fast for 2 months.
But no compensation is paid to the victim's family if the victim is a believer but hails from an enemy clan or tribe.
Okay.
If the victim hails from a non-Muslim clan with whom the Muslims have a treaty, such as dhimmis, then compensation is paid. Most agree that the victim need not be a Muslim, since Islamic law requires compensation for the death of a dhimmi, although some say it's half that for a Muslim.
I mean, that would stand in line with most of the stuff we've read.
Mm-hmm. It's like
Right.
being half a person in their society.
Almost like that, yeah. All right. Continuing on here. Should anyone kill a believer intentionally, his requital shall be hell, to remain in it forever. God shall be wrathful at him and curse him, and he will prepare for him a great punishment. So this is the whole, like, this is where they get, like, they say this all the time. Like, killing someone is the worst thing you can do in our religion. Like, I hear Muslims say that all the time. And yeah, but it also is a believer.
It has to specifically be a believer.
It's specifically a believer in this verse.
Some hold that the killing of a believer intentionally is a sin for which there is no forgiveness. Others maintain the possibility of forgiveness for one who is contrite.
For one who's contrite, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to continue on. Verse 94. O you who have faith, when you issue forth in a way of God, try to ascertain. Do not say to someone who offers you peace, you are not a believer, seeking the transitory wares of the life of this world, but with God are plenteous gains. You too were such earlier, but God did you a favor. Therefore, do ascertain. God is indeed well aware of what you do. So yeah, this verse. Let's see. The original. Oh, sorry. Am I reading that right? Am I skipping something?
Are you okay?
When they say,
are you with us?
I am. Yeah. When it says
Technical
here,
difficulties, but on his end.
right? Yeah. The technical difficulties is just my brain. Yeah. So when they offer him a peace, another translation is offering you a salutation, right? So it's the one that we talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have covered the importance of that salutation before.
Yes.
And you know what? In the next section, it looks like we're going to talk about a jihad. Which, I mean, we've talked about it on the show before, but I don't think it's popped up
in the book.
Yeah, in the book, yeah.
Let's get some jihad content.
That's banned in Magic, by the way, because it's too controversial. Not because it's a good card.
What?
Jihad.
What card is that?
It's like a 3-drop sorcery that gives +1 to all your creatures until end of turn. It's not very good.
What set was that from?
Like Arabian Nights.
That I should have guessed that. I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah.
Was it the same one as Scheherazade?
I don't know. It might be Mirage as well. I'm not sure. But
sure.
Yeah, I think Scheherazade is from way earlier, surprisingly.
Interesting.
It's also in Arabian Nights, but
Right, yeah, yeah. All right. I guess I'll look that up later. I haven't heard that one.
Well, it's
right.
on the same reason for like that one card you like so much.
That's a really good card though.
I know that one's actually just a good card.
That one is just a good card. That one's fucking busted. Broken ass card. So continuing on to 95.
Yes, do so.
Not equal are those of the faithful who sit back, accepting those who suffer from some disability, and those who wage jihad in the way of God with their possession and persons.
So Ibn Abbas says that this is related to those who fought in the Battle of Badr.
Right, yeah. So
we've talked about before.
Yep. God has graced those who wage jihad with their possessions and persons by a degree over those who sit back. So again, this is like people who go out of their way to be martyrs or to fight for the faith. So when it comes to jihad, you could totally see why from this context, we back in the fucking day, right? I just like most Americans thought that like jihad meant like holy war or something. And from this context, I could totally see that. But like the word itself means struggle. Mm-hmm. So where is it? Section of jihad here. Yeah, so like you could travel for like a jihad, like going on the pilgrimage. Yeah, that would be a jihad. Yeah, me doing being alive is a jihad. Whoa. That's a struggle.
Look, it's like how kung fu from the Chinese gong fu.
Okay.
It just means a skill that's acquired.
Oh, okay. It just means skill.
Work,
gotcha.
And determination. Like a chef has good cooking.
Sure.
Kung fu.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
The word like technician or technical that comes from Greek techne, which just means like a skill or an art form. Yeah. Because you're skillful in something or artful at it.
But we all know that kung fu refers to Chinese martial arts.
Obviously, yeah.
Obviously, even though that's not what
it means. Yeah.
Right. And insofar as we in the United States know jihad, that is generally how people refer to jihad in the United States.
Yeah, in the U.S. that is true. But you can see why from like a passage like this, because in this context, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much more commentary we can add here, but this is still in the context of like if they're kind of, it's not really in that context. But like we were just talking about like if people were stopping you from believing what you could do, right? So this is kind of an extension of that.
Well, it's in the way of God, right? They're doing it specifically for religious purposes.
Yeah.
So continue on with the verse.
Yeah. If they're to sit back, they would be probably martyred. Yet to each God has promised the best reward, and God has graced those who wage jihad over those who sit back with a great reward. Ranks from him forgiveness and mercy, and God is all forgiving, all merciful. Let's see if there's anything.
Yeah, the ranks here seem to be an elaboration upon the degree or the great reward which God favors the mujahideen over the others in verse 95. These degrees may represent the level one attains in paradise, the degree of forgiveness or mercy received from God, or even the degrees of closeness to God that one obtains by striving to please him. The use of the plural degrees in this verse rather than single degree, as in verse 95, may indicate that while the mujahid is favored in this world by a single degree, namely the spoils of war he acquires thereby. He is favored many degrees or in many multiple ways in the hereafter. Or it may indicate that the mujahidun are favored by a single degree over the disadvantaged who are unable to strive, but by degrees over those who stay behind without a legitimate excuse. Alternatively, it may mean that the multiple degrees of favor are for those who strive and sacrifice in every way, with their lives and their wealth and their heart, etc., etc.
Well, there is some more on these degrees. God's goodness is promised to all people of faith, but there are degrees among men and women of faith. There are people with natural inertia. They do the minimum that is required of them, but no more.
Huh.
Yeah. There are people.
Who's that?
Let's see. I don't know.
One we know.
Yeah, everyone I know is like a super hard worker. They go out of their way to accomplish all possible things. They really never stop. They're all workaholics.
They all have a lot of goals.
Right. Yeah, a lot of goals. I don't know.
I'm glad you guys don't know. It's good. Ignorance is nice.
Yeah. They do the minimum that is required of them, but no more. There are people who are weak in will. They are easily frightened.
Wow.
That's the funniest way that they could have put that. That they're easily frightened.
Wow.
There are people who are so strong in will and so firm in faith that they are determined to conquer every obstacle, whether in their own physical or other infirmities or in the external world around them. In a time of jihad, when people give their all and even their lives for the common cause, they must be accounted more glorious than those who sit at home, even though they have goodwill to the cause and carry out minor duties in aid. So, yeah, there are different levels. Some people are scared easily, and that's a character flaw. That's funny. All right, let's continue. So verse 97. Indeed, those whom the angels take away while they are wronging themselves. Well, they are wronging themselves. They're sinning?
Wronging themselves is meant to indicate that they were taken in the state of wrongdoing.
Yeah,
Some of them died in the battle. When the angels came to take their souls, they offered the excuse of oppression, but the response is that the oppression is no excuse for the believers who neglected the difficult but possible solution of emigrating elsewhere. This is in reference to the Battle of Badr.
Well, the thing is, this could be anything that causes like sin, because like it's so vague, right?
Yeah.
Because they have while they are wronging themselves, while they're doing something bad to themselves.
And that's been
so that sounds like someone's sinning.
That's been a consistent thing in the Quran commentaries.
How I
Yeah, it has.
There have been a lot of vague things in the Quran, and they relate it to specific instances that I suppose
Are possible. But the thing is, like, this explanation here, it's like, yeah, by those who were unjust to themselves are meant persons who were convinced of the truth of Islam, but chose to remain among the disbelievers who did not allow them to give expression to their beliefs, notwithstanding that they had the means to join the Muslims and avow Islam openly. That is also, I think, too specific an explanation. This, I feel like it's just like anyone who is currently sinning, because they are in a way hurting themselves. Mm-hmm. So I could see that as being as open as possible. It doesn't have to be a certain battle. It doesn't have to be specifically like, oh, someone who's convinced of Islam, but not like they haven't left like their polytheistic pagan family or something. So I feel like this one could just be a million ways. But either way, yeah, indeed. Well, let's see what they ask, right? Indeed, those, the angels take away while they are wronging themselves. They ask, what state were you in? So while you were wronging yourself, what was going on? They reply, we were oppressed in the land. They say, was not God's earth vast enough so that you might migrate in it? So are these people who do sins because of like economic circumstances? Like, are these people who
they're implying that it's related to people who refuse to migrate between Mecca and Medina in the commentaries here, but
okay. Yeah, sure. The refuge of such shall be hell, and it is an evil destination. Except those oppressed among men, women, and children who have neither access to any means nor are guided to any way. Maybe God will excuse them, for God is all excusing, all forgiving. So yeah, I can see why this is usually applied to like the pilgrimage and Mecca. Because like from what I know, you're supposed to take that pilgrimage at least once in your life, right?
Yeah.
The Hajj. But like you can take it multiple times. You can take it whenever the hell you want. But the idea that like you need to do it at least once, but if you're not able to because of like some crazy condition or something, then they're like, oh well, maybe then God will forgive you. Which modern Muslims say all the time.
But ancient Muslims,
I don't know what they would say.
not sure what would happen.
They obviously gave something here, right? They said that
Something.
maybe if you are so oppressed, then you
What
can't
do
do
you
it.
think
Then fine.
of Surah 4 so far?
Okay, so this has some of the simultaneously most interesting stuff and some of the most evil stuff. This also has some stuff that's like pretty good in comparison, right? Like it gives you some rules that are pretty lenient in comparison to other religions, but it also gives you like some absolutely terrible things.
Yes.
Like so far,
like when it tells you to beat your wife.
it gives you right. It gives you a condition under which you can beat your wife.
Yay.
Ugh.
Are we done with 4 now?
No.
How much is left?
Well, it's 170
Oh, okay.
verses.
So we're halfway-ish.
Yeah,
A little
yeah.
more.
We're over halfway.
A little more today, yep.
But either way, that's the show for today. If you enjoy the stream, make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you haven't. We have an Amazon wish list, lots of books on there. You can add some books to this table. You can add some books to our brains so that we can give you content with those
if
books.
you add books to our brains and our brains are broadcasted on YouTube, then basically it's like you have our brains.
Yeah, exactly. Why haven't you done that? So
Years of content from us.
Yeah, true. We also have this phenomenal T-shirt that Chris has pinned. Look at it; it's great. Is it the tits one? Of course it is. That's I'm not surprised that out of all of our shirts, that's the one that's gotten the most clicks.
We're like a fifth of the way through or something. The Quran. I don't know.
I wouldn't start counting your
6th,
pigeons.
maybe.
There's usually essays.
We're not
Oh,
close.
sure, yeah. Well, we'll get there eventually. Anyways, all the links for everything are in the description. Join the Discord. Thank you, Nightbot, if you have not done that yet. And I think that's all the shilling we have to do.
Yeah. So if you enjoy the stream, do all of those things and buy all of the things for us. Give us all of your money.
Right, yeah.
Spare no expense. Children's College Fund, that's the Lawrence College Fund.
Graduate school fund.
I am the child. Fund me.
Yeah. Lawrence is your child.
Yeah.
It's not parasocial at all. Anyways.
Thanks for joining us, and we
see
will
you.
see you on...
Yeah,
wait.
it's Christmas.
Christmas?
Yeah, it's
Wait.
Christmas.
I'm not
isn't it?
actually doing anything Christmas
Wait, are we-
proper. I have Saturday stuff, but
Oh, yeah, you're right. It will be Christmas. Okay, so see you
I'm
on...
doing
Alright,
things
so are you-
on Christmas proper with my wife's family.
That's right. I forgot. Yeah,
Yes.
so I guess, so we won't be here
So
for...
we may or may
for
not
Crinklemas.
be here, but probably not.
Okay, well, either way, Merry Crinklemas.
See you when we see you.
Yep.
And a happy Thanksgiving.
Crinklemas.
Wow, that was a while ago.